Hi, my name is Jamin Goecker. I'm a realtor in South Central Alaska, and my mission is to help you to build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family by coaching in real estate. And today, what I'm going to be doing is answering the most asked questions the internet has about Alaska. This is going to be kind of interesting just to see what people are asking about this state. So before we get started though, do make sure you give this video a like if you haven't done so already. Please go ahead and subscribe. And without further ado, let's go and jump into it. Question number one, is Alaska a state? Yes, it is definitely a state. As of January 3rd, 1959, Alaska became the 49th state to join the Union. And obviously, right off the bat, you can't really tell it just by looking at a normal map because proportions are way off, but it is certainly the largest state by a long shot. There's actually a saying up here, cut Alaska in half and make Texas the third biggest state. So, yes, we are definitely a state. Second question, is Alaska an island? No, it is definitely not. It is connected to the mainland continent. It's connected to Canada by land though. So for our intents and purposes, it's going to feel like an island a lot of the time because to get here, well, you know what, we'll talk about more about that later. But yes, it is not an island. It is connected to the rest of the continent, but the place at which it's connected is Canada, so it kind of feels like an island. So yes and no. Third question, is Alaska a good place to live? It really depends what it is that you're wanting to come up here for. If you are here for the outdoor lifestyle and you're going to have stuff you can do year round, whether that's skiing or fishing or hunting, hiking, any of these things, if you're into the outdoors, it's going to be a great place to live. If that's not really your forte and you need a little bit more of a metropolitan kind of an area, probably going to be a good place to visit. Don't know if you're really going to enjoy it long term. And you also have to kind of take into consideration how you're going to do during those long dark months in winter and the long bright days during the summertime, because you can have some troubles adjusting to either one of those extremes. So it's a great place to live if it's really going to be your forte. Next question, what time zone is Alaska in? So Alaska is actually big enough that it has its own time zone. Jealous? Next question, when is the best time to visit Alaska? So it depends what you're into. If you like kind of those winter activities, definitely come check it out sometime around the February, March time frame. The reason I say that is because it's still going to be cold enough for you to go and do stuff, but you're going to have enough sunlight that you can actually get out and enjoy stuff. So that's the best time of year to come up, in my opinion, if you're into those winter activities. If you're looking for more of those summer activities, probably somewhere closer to about the June or July time frame. If you come in the springtime, that's honestly awful time of year to come visit up here just because it's breakup and you've got a bunch of trash on the side of the road because it's about 6 months worth of just debris and dog crap and a bunch of other stuff that's kind of been hidden and melted in the snow, and it all comes to the surface at the same time. So springtime, not a very good time around here, but February, March if you're into the winter activities. If you're wanting to go do stuff during the summertime, June and July is usually pretty good. Let's take a quick break real quick. Did you know that I actually do host the Alaskan Journey podcast, in which I interview Alaskans who actually live up here about what their experiences have been living in the 49th state? Well, you do now. So do make sure you check out one of my most recent episodes in which I interview Nicole Johnston about her experience with being a Hall of Famer with the Alaskan native sports. So do make sure you check that episode down below, and without further ado, let's go and jump back into the episode today. How do you get to Alaska? So there are 3 ways. Number 1, you can just do a really plain Jane way and just get on a plane and fly up here. So you can go ahead and do that. Obviously consolidate all your stuff down. The second way is to go by cruise or go by ferry, because we do have the Alaska Marine Highway, and that's typically going to be a good way to get up here if you're looking to move. You can certainly get all your stuff on there, drop a U-Haul truck on there, and then just drive to wherever you're going once you do get off the ferry. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you can go ahead and drive the Alcan Highway or the Alaska-Canadian Highway. For this, obviously, you've got to drive through Canada, and definitely do some planning before jumping into that. It is a long road. I always recommend take another spare tire, just to be on the safe side. Every time I've driven it, one of my tires have blown out. So make sure you get that. Make sure you do have some extra gas with you as well, because sometimes those gas stations are not particularly reliable once you get far out there. So those are going to be your three ways. You can take a plane, you can drive here, technically it's a long ways, or you can go ahead and take a ferry or take a cruise. What is the weather like in Alaska? Well, this is going to obviously depend on the time of year. Usually it's going to be pretty desirable weather during the summertime. It's going to be hovering right around like that 65, 75, somewhere in there. So it's going to feel pretty good, and it's going to be pretty bright most of the time. And it's not going to be really overcast or gloomy. It is about as bright and about as cheerful as it gets during the summertime. During the wintertime, obviously, it's Alaska. It's going to be cold. Now, it's not as cold as you get in some channels where they're talking about, negative 50, negative, whatever degrees. It's not that cold in South Central Alaska, okay? I call South Central kind of the Alaska light when it comes to Alaska. It still does get pretty cold here. We do have some months where it'll stay pretty close to about negative 10 or so, but there are places in the lower 48 where it gets that also, so it shouldn't really surprise a whole lot of people. And we're definitely not setting records down here in South Central. It does snow, obviously. Past couple days, we actually got over 2 feet of snow here in South Central Alaska. So it's Alaska. It snows, so expect that. And last but not least, how should you prepare for Alaska? Well, if you're looking at coming up here to actually just visit, then be ready to go buy some bug spray wherever you're going. It kind of depends where you're going in the state. Everyone always complains about the mosquitoes. I have not really run into them all that much. Maybe I'm just going to the wrong places. But make sure you get some bug spray just in case, and make sure you get some bear spray when you're here. They are non-refundable, so don't think that you can just buy some bear spray from Walmart, not use it, and then take it back. It does not work that way. You can't resell bear spray. So make sure you've got those two things, and other than that, just make sure you come here, make sure you dressed accordingly. If you're from somewhere really warm, bring some extra layers. Even if it's during the summertime, it's going to feel a little chilly to you. And other than that, just make sure you come ready for some adventure and have an open mind, and be ready to have some fun. Thank you for watching. I sure hope this has been useful for you. This has been a really fun video to make, just answering the kind of basic questions out there. If you have any further questions, do make sure that you post those in the comments section down below. We are constantly looking for new ideas that we might be able to turn into videos for you guys to make sure that this channel continues to be of service to you. And if you haven't done so already, do make sure you give this video a like, make sure you subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time.